Good morning, everyone. I'm Ben Rogers, Distinguished Policy Fellow at LSE, here to talk about innovation capacity in Europe's cities. I'm delighted to start with an exclusive preview of some research that we've been undertaking in collaboration with Eurocities and Bloomberg Philanthropies, looking at how Europe's cities or city governments are building their innovation capacity, what's working, what they're finding hard, what extra help they need. And we're very much focused on this idea of innovation capacity. We weren't asking cities about what new stuff they're doing. They all love talking about that. We were asking them about how they actually build up those innovation muscles, those innovation capabilities and skills, which you need as a sort of bedrock to do all sorts of innovation. Now, Europe's cities have a very distinct sort of profile. Europe is a continent of small and mid-sized cities with governments that go back often hundreds of years. Both Gdańsk and Bologna have city halls going back to the 1300s, and European cities are also exceptionally well networked across international borders, helped by this sort of EU framework. Nevertheless, many of the challenges that mayors and city governments struggle with in Europe are the same as those faced by mayors everywhere. Limited funds, limited powers, huge challenges, climate change, affordable housing, often interacting in unpredictable ways, bureaucracies that find it hard sometimes to do new things, but also a real desire amongst civil servants, amongst city public servants to do things differently. So that is the background of our research. We surveyed 65 innovation officers across Europe. You can see the cities that took part in the survey, and 92 mayors also responded to a survey. We also did a series of interviews and case studies. And actually, overall, the findings, I think, are really positive. This is a really live agenda. European cities, for the most part, get the value of investing in innovation. A third now have innovation teams. A half have innovation strategies. You can see the ones in green have innovation strategies, including Bologna and Gdańsk, I'm pleased to say. Mayoral leadership is often really strong on this, and we actually heard from the officers that when we asked them about what's enabling innovation capacity in their cities, they talked about the role of mayors, and actually it's often mayors who are leading the charge over and above the senior civil servants. So that is all very positive. Europe's cities are good on partnership. They find it quite easy to develop partnerships with business sector, with their universities, with the civic sector. Universities actually emerged from our survey as being really, really important players in supporting the innovation capacity of Europe's cities. And they're pretty good on analytic capabilities. Most cities are sort of getting a handle on their data. They're getting a handle on service design. So strengths there. Where they're sort of struggling, I think, is in what we call the core innovation, organizational innovation capabilities. The officers we spoke to talk about the fact that they don't have sort of sustained funding for innovation. It comes and goes. It often comes from particular funds that sort of disappear quite quickly. They struggle to recruit people and retain people with innovation skills. Hiring policy often makes it hard to recruit people with the right skills. So that is definitely an area for struggle. They're good some methods, but they need more support on others. They talked about wanting more support on mission-driven governance, behavioral economics, and foresight. And the mention of missions brings me to my last point, which is really about the sort of scale of ambition when it comes to building innovation capacity. I think it's true to say that most of the cities that we surveyed are directing their innovation efforts at relatively low-hanging fruit, so it's all about digitalizing processes and services, trying out new technology. They're not looking perhaps at the sort of more challenging, high-potential innovations around new sources of funding and finance, procurement, new models of prosperity and well-being. And I think one of the sort of challenges is, can we scale up the ambition of what we mean by innovation in Europe so we could go beyond, as I say, digitalization of services or engaging citizens in new ways into something a bit more radical. So with that said, I'm going to turn to our three participants. First of all, I'm going to start with Aleksandra Dulkiewicz, who's the mayor of Gdańsk. A really city with a really sort of proud record of recent European history, the home of solidarity, played a crucial role in the fall of communism, and Mayor Dulkiewicz in particular is a sort of really vocal supporter of European solidarity, of citizen rights, support for Ukraine. What does innovation look like in your city, and how are you going about building up your innovation capacity?
Well, thank you very much for the possibility of being here. Good morning, everyone. In my opinion, innovations, strategies, those are only tools. Those are, of course, extremely needed. But as we talk here today, yesterday, and on Monday with my fellow colleague mayors, we really need to take care of real relation with the people. This is actually what builds not only capacity of development, but also in those unsafe times, it builds real relations that we really can see next door someone who can help us if something is going on. We could see it all over the world, definitely during COVID times. So this is what we are really trying to do. Maybe it's not great innovation, but we are traveling all over the city with round table, having meetings with people, sitting next to each other. So in this sense, it really, we really need it as a team of mayor team to get out of the office, take the round table, sit next to the people, listen to them. Sometimes it's not really pleasant. I think that everyone can notice it. So in my opinion, and then building trust. If people are telling you that something needs to be done, you really need to explain why it can't be done, or try to make it into the life. So this is something what we are really trying to do in such a big city, because we are more than 500,000. But it's not easy way, and it will not bring the results immediately. But this is something what I deeply believe. Straightening human relations is something that really could help us to survive and to innovate.
And do your officers find it easy to do this, or have you had to push them, persuade them to get out, leave their desks and get out and meet
It's
the public?
never easy, you know. Everyone would like to sit next to the desk, and it's sometimes really easier. But step by step, we can see that it brings result. One of this result is that level of trust in our city is bigger on average than in other cities in Poland. So it shows that this way brings results.
Brilliant. And Mayor Lepore, your city has a sort of long history of pretty radical urban sort of civic innovation, and you've now set up an urban civic foundation to lead on new innovation. Do you want to just tell us a bit about that, why you set up the foundation and how it works?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here to share our experience. We started many years ago, as you mentioned, about the lack of trust between the institution and the community. In every city is a problem. And we introduced in 2014 a new regulation about common goods and take care of common goods together. We invented the pacts about common goods. And after years of this experience, we have thousands of people involved in common goods and take care from a bench in a public garden, to some immaterial common goods like culture or literature, for example. Many people involved. And in 2018, we felt that we need some tools to support people with data, with technologies, with public spaces. And we introduced the Civic Imagination Office in a foundation owned by the municipality and university to share competencies, to share the knowledge, but in particular to change the municipality inside, because we discovered that to be open, to create participation was really important to change the mentality of the public officials, of the political leadership of the city, and create the environment, the good environment for people, because it's not easy to open the democracy, it's not easy to change the process of our municipality. And I think this Civic Imagination Office helped me to be a good leader and help all my team to be in the district among the community, helping the community to be in the agenda. And I suggest this kind of method and approach in every situation, to be with the people and engage the people with tools, data, and trust with them. Because if we need trust from the people, I think we need to trust the people.
And one of the things we heard from your team was that having an independent foundation also enabled you to recruit from a sort of different sort of skill set, people who maybe wouldn't want to come and work for the municipality, but were happy to work for a foundation, and that's really been extraordinarily helpful.
That's a key point, because especially in Italy, but I think in every country, it's difficult to hire people in the public administration and to have innovation inside the public administration. So the foundation is aside. We have the competence from the university, but also from the communities, and from different gender, from the young people. We introduced, for example, the participatory budgeting, and we decide to give the opportunity to vote in the participatory budget to the students of the university. In Bologna, we have 400,000 residents, but we have also 100,000 students in the city. And their participation in the city is so important. They don't vote in public election, in the municipality election, but they can vote in participatory budgeting. And we create also an assembly, a citizen assembly dedicated to climate change. We declare the emergency for the climate change. And we have been with Barcelona, the first city in Europe, to create an assembly to have the participation of citizens. And we ask them consultancy and recommendation, because if we want to promote a just transition, I think we need participation. We can't do that without the people and supporting their rights.
Brilliant. Ravi, just reflecting on this a bit, I mean, what are the sort of the skills that you really think European cities should be, or cities everywhere should be building up in terms of their innovation capacity?
So I think there are three main capabilities that I would focus on. I mean, the first starts from the fact that if you go to every city, there are teachers, police officers, social workers who are improvising. They're finding really ingenious workarounds. And we need to be much better at scouring for those positive deviants. Why is it that one school or one teacher is massively outperforming others with similar caseloads? And I think we can do that now in a much more data-driven way. So the first thing is scouring for those positive deviants. The second is actually driving those to scale. We often can assume that the job of scaling is easy. You just put out the evidence and people will adopt it. I think we now know it's difficult. And actually putting effort into diffusion and adoption, running experiments, and how do you shift the behavior of those teachers to try and adopt new pedagogical processes? So adoption, I think, is the second area to build. The third is really pushing the frontier of innovation. I think we all want, as you said, more radical innovations, more life-changing services, and that requires the kind of capability that tech firms have in abundance, the ability to constantly experiment, constantly A/B test, tweak, and iterate. And I think all cities can build up that muscle. At the Behavioural Insights team, we've run about 800 trials, and we work often with cities and others in trying to build that capacity in-house.
Brilliant. I mean, there was one innovation you'd really like your city to sort of get better at. What would it be? Or if there's one sort of goal that you'd really like to sort of see it going for in terms of building up its innovation capacity? And
as I said, we can all share the ideas here, and we really can do similar things. But what I really would like to say that is really, really important, that don't hesitate to even make mistakes. Try new things. You need to practice. You need to see what is working, what is not working. So this is something to be open for new ideas and really checking if it is working in my community. So this would be the innovation and piece of advice I would give to myself and to all of you.
But how do you do that as a mayor? How do you Civil servants are naturally cautious. It's sometimes said it's more important in government not to fail than to succeed. And that, and for good reason, because the stakes are high if city government fails.
You need to make them feel secure and take responsibility. So I'm a leader, so I'm taking the responsibility for all good and for all mistakes. So we need to really give them support that, okay, we're trying, we are checking if it works or not. But anyway, I always take the responsibility. And now I can see that it is working. For how long, we'll see.
And Matteo, what is the sort of the big agenda for you? What is the innovation that you'd really like to see yourselves pushing at? I mean, new models of funding.
I think in these difficult times, it's important that we are aware that cities are a platform, and we need to be the leader that permitted the city to be to the people to be in the city, and to mobilize their energies, because city is a matter of power. And if we want to help people, we have to redistribute this kind of power. And we have a lot of platforms in our life, digital platform, labor platform, and chain. But cities are the opportunity to support people with a new idea of reality and ideality. And I think the needs of people in the city are clear, but we can search together the solution. So I think innovation is important on that topic. And for us, for example, the civic imagination is a point of view, not only a process. No, we choose to have a point of view in the process of innovation.
I love the term civic imagination. An office of civic imagination is just fantastic. Ravi, as chief executive of Nesta, you also run the behavioral insights team. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And our survey showed that actually European cities really aren't using behavioral insights at all. And how could they use? And what are the insights that they could really harness, do you think?
So I think the first thing is that when you think about most challenges, whether it's health, education, crime, economic development, it's all about decisions and behaviors and habits. So almost everything is quite behavioral. And when we talk to cities, we always say, try and think about your solutions in a behaviorally informed way. And design it from that user's perspective. And even this process of scaling, as I said, is about changing whole cohorts of professionals, which is in itself a behavioral challenge.
Brilliant. I think we've come to the end of our session, so it just remains for me to thank Bloomberg Philanthropies for giving us this platform. As I say, we'll be publishing our research in November, and do look out for it. But many thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.